Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Brent and Malcolm Show. I'm Brent Hazard, using my best radio voice. Today, I'm joined, as always, by Malcolm Johnson. Malcolm, what's going on?
Brent, just another beautiful day. Glad to be alive, sir.
Well, let me go. I mean, you're looking a little bit more professional. You got something going on?
Well, you know, I hit hard on the campaign trail, trying to meet voters, shake hands, and hug babies, and do everything possible to try to
down
win.
in flu season, you're doing all this human contact. But no, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try something. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try something today. We're going to be Brent and Malcolm versus the world today.
Oh,
if you
wow.
want to comment or call in, 800-492-5186. 800-492-5186. But let's jump into it, Malcolm. Did you see the Supreme Court saying the mayor did not have a veto power over a no vote?
Brent, I saw it before they released it. I mean, it was 9-0. I never seen the Supreme Court nail 9-0. Have you?
Oh, no. I've gotten some judgments.
It usually be one jackass that I always go.
Well, what it is you usually have Leslie King and you have... Oh, you scared? You ain't got to sneak. We got someone scared to jump in the big... I mean, you can come in. Okay. And we might have a guess if he works up the courage. But no, I mean, look, when it's completely... The current court is 7-2. The two votes would be the liberal votes. That would be Justice Kitchens from Crystal Springs and Justice King from Greenville.
That's right.
But when you don't get those two, and to be fair to the mayor, I've had a couple decisions that have gone 9-0 where they rewrote the law, in my opinion. But that's their prerogative.
Yeah, that's their prerogative.
But here's my problem with it. One, they said if he would have read the whole statute under ordinances, the ordinance had to come across his desk. And he didn't have an explanation for that. That's right. But then he had a press conference saying he still thought he was right. If he would have just came out and said, wasn't a strong argument, but I had to show you what a minority contractor could do. If he would have just said that, I would have been like, I'll give him a couple points. Yeah. He couldn't back down from that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Brent. When 9 of the justices agree to something in the state of Mississippi, there's something really wrong with it.
Once again, I will politely disagree with you on that.
Can you remember another case that you had before the Supreme Court?
I can tell you right now where they reversed 200 years of law and said guilty pleas weren't enough, but I'm limited.
9-0?
No. I was so mad I was about to throw something. But I'm limited to what I can do. But let me ask you this, Malcolm, since I ran into, and I don't want to say someone's name, an elected official, might be statewide, maybe not, bought my dinner Friday night.
Really?
I was eating with someone named Steve Pickett. And this person and I had issues previously.
Steve, my friend.
No, not Steve. I'm talking about the person who bought her dinner.
Okay.
How do you react if you had someone you didn't like buy you dinner?
Well, Brent, guess what I would have done?
I mean, they didn't ask me to buy me dinner. We called the ticket.
Yeah. Well, you called for the ticket. They intercepted the ticket.
Taken care of.
Yeah. So, what you have to do in the cases like that, Brent, before you eat, did you say your prayer?
Oh, yeah, I pray every day.
So when you prayed, the blessing came. That's where I look at it, but it was just a blessing.
I almost said, no, let me buy your dinner back because this ain't forgiving.
This don't make us free.
This don't make us right. I don't want to be owing you a damn thing. Well, I don't even know if the camera's on you, Sock, which I don't think it is, but we'll fix that yet. I mean, we both know who's important around here. We'll get to Socrates' point of view whenever we can because, he's third rate on the big show. On this show, he's big time, but it's almost like we didn't know we were going live. But anyway, we'll get Mr. Garrett's point of view eventually once he gets. He's been running the largest African American empire in the state of Mississippi. We have to cut him some slack.
I'm glad he's on here today. I had opportunity to call in on a local radio show where he was sitting in the other night, and one thing I can say about Mr. Garrett, he's one of them people. He's gonna tell the truth. You know, some people you put on the spot, guess what they do, Brent? Lie. I asked him a question on the radio, and Socrates Gary answered with pride. I said, how long have you been a contractor? He said, 44 years. Am I right, Mr. Sock?
That's right.
I asked him, what color are you? He said, I'm just as black as you, Malcolm Johnson. Right. I said, do you live in Jackson? He said, yeah. I said, do you have any business in Hinds County? He said, no, I do not. You know, most people would have lied.
First of all, narcissists usually lie about themselves.
Oh, man.
Here we go again. Narcissists.
I'm sorry. We lying here on the show. I didn't know we were lying on the show.
He told the truth. Did you tell the truth, sir?
I thought I did.
Absolutely true.
Hey, look, I'm going to tell you something. I told him on the radio in front of everybody. I say, my respect for Mr. Socrates Gary went over the moon. Do you hear me, brother? Because some people just will not tell the truth. Am I right, Mr. Garrett?
That's absolutely
We got one in the middle, right?
Okay, hang on. I said we're going to turn the phone calls open, see how it is. We have our first phone call on the Brent Malcolm Show. Caller, welcome to the show. Who do we have? Caller? Hello?
But like I was saying, though, the caller will be back.
Somebody was talking a lot of noise about technology and caller. Hello, caller? Well, we're going to hang up on this caller and continue since we're still having some technical. Okay, what are y'all talking about? What did he tell the truth on besides being a black contractor with no work?
No. He's
been saying that for 17 years.
Well, not just I did him saying it. When I asked him the question live on the radio.
I hired Polo to say it.
Oh, man.
You remember that name?
Polo. It's a name from a blast from the past.
Anyway, so, okay, what did you think about the Supreme Court ruling on the no vote specifically?
I'm not sure I'm up to date on the Supreme Court ruling.
They said the mayor was wrong. He couldn't veto a no vote.
Everybody knew that the mayor couldn't veto a no vote. That didn't come.
We didn't need the
Supreme Court to do that.
He just see what he could get away with, bro.
Yeah, he knew that. He knew he couldn't do that. But, you know, he had to play that hand to get the time that he needed to implement his program.
Okay, let's go through some of this. I heard Waste Management has told Jackson they are done with Jackson and they're not coming back. Is that what you heard? True or false?
False.
Did you hear that? The Waste Management said, we're done with Jackson, we're out of Jackson, we don't want back in.
Well, I heard that they was not interested at the time. So the money wasn't there to pay him. I heard it, but, you know, I hadn't saw it in writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
April 1st, Socrates, who's picking up our garbage?
Rich's Disposal.
Well, let me go ahead and clear this.
Emergency.
No. Let me go ahead and clear this. At one point, you were trying to get the contract early on in the process, correct?
No, well, not really. We stepped in when the negotiations broke down, and we offered our services during an emergency period. But we did not respond to the original RFP.
Oh, I thought you were like. I might have been misinformed here. I thought you were the #1 group ranked.
No.
From the original RFP.
No.
Who was the #1 group rank coming out of the RFP? Do you know that?
Oh, well, no. But the #1 group rank didn't get the contract.
Okay.
Because the council turned them down.
Who was that?
I'm trying to think of the name. They're out of Houston somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Caller. Caller?
Hello?
Caller. Welcome to the Brent Malcolm Show. Who do we have on the phone?
This is Wilford Beal on the phone now.
Now. Mr. Beal, do you have a question or where are you today?
I'm sitting in Washington, D.C. at the Hart Senate building.
Okay, what's going on in D.C.?
Transportation Legislative Conference dealing with the accuracy of the legislation being appropriated as it relates to transportation, housing, and urban development. How it's going to affect the appropriation bill and other critical legislation that's coming up.
Do you think Mississippi will be getting a fair share, or what are you hearing about the type of transportation appropriations Mississippi can expect?
Yes, Mississippi will get its fair share. It just relies on we making it known what we are in need of, what our programs are. And we would be a part of this because this is for all transportation in the U.S. of A.
Specifically, what are you trying to bring to Mississippi, or what are you fighting for up there?
We are trying to bring the appropriation that would be appropriated for transit agency, because we have transit agencies in Mississippi, Gulfport, Jackson, alike, that qualifies for these funds. And we do have transportation, housing, urban development issues as it relates to our agencies and our area.
Well, thank you for. Do you have anything, Mal?
Well, Mr. Bill, thank you for your service. This is Malcolm Johnson here. I thank you for your service and your dedication to even want to get on an airplane and fly to Washington and try to speak up for some of these people out here that won't speak up for themselves. So, brother, I take my hat off to you and thank you for your service and dedication.
Thank you.
Well, swing back on by the show when you get back in town, sir.
We will. Thank you very much.
Stay safe.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Bill's an interesting, but ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to call at 1-800-492-5186, but back to you, Socrates, you're saying that the city council is going to come around and vote for Richard's disposal, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think they've demonstrated that they can do the job. They had price points that were more favorable to the city. And I'm always a champion for African-American businesses to have an opportunity to be a prime contractor in our city. Your opinion on the job Richards did?
Well,
or is currently doing?
Well, to be honest with you, I have no problem with Richards, Waste Management, Lee Bush, Robert Gibbs, or Socrates Garrett. I just want the job did. I'm not concerned about who got the job, but as long as the job getting done. And what I have not did, I have not took no time to criticize Richards, because guess what, Brent? Richards doing the best they could do with what they got.
Well,
am I right, sir?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. You got to do with what you got. Man.
Okay. First of all, if a doctor told y'all that, or if a lawyer told y'all that, y'all just sue him in a heartbeat. Well, I did the best I could. I'm sorry you did. I didn't know I was supposed to.
Stakes a lot higher in that situation.
Huh?
The stakes a lot higher.
Is it?
That's right.
Okay.
Tolerance level
so
is a lot lower.
$1 million. Well, no. I mean, let me say this on Richards. When I first saw Richards come on, I saw a lot of trash, like. In the streets and stuff. I mean, not a lot, but it was different. But, you know, when did they take over? They took over when?
90 days ago.
90 days ago?
Yeah.
But, I mean, to be quite honest, in the last, I'd say, probably month and a half, 2 months, I wouldn't be able to tell you, without seeing the trucks, I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference between what we have now. I mean, I think they went through a natural learning curve. And then I couldn't tell you right now the difference between them and anybody else. And Waste Management's only 2 people have examples. So, I mean, you know, I don't know of any complaints. I will say this. I don't know that road. I should take it. That road by WNPR, that side road where you get off on 80 over there. That road, someone just dumped pine trees. I mean, there's tires, there's sofas.
That wasn't out of Richards. Richards ain't picked up.
No. I'm just saying, whoever is responsible, and I mean, that's not their job. But I'm just saying, because I forgot to say it the other day, I almost killed myself running on trees that some dump truck just dumped in the middle of the road.
Yeah. Welcome to Hines County, man.
City of Jackson.
This ain't Washington County. This Hines County.
Well, I mean, actually, Washington County is a lot worse than Hines right now. Oh, dude, Washington County is 10 years the future of Hines. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Don't say that.
Poor planning. We have a caller for the Brent and Malcolm show, if I can remember our show. Welcome to the show, sir, ma'am. What do you give Richard's disposal?
Hello, Brent. Hey, Malcolm. Hey, I'll talk to you guys. This is Tim Brown.
Hey, Tim Brown.
Hey, Tim.
I was calling to concern about, you know, Richard Soldier. He did this last topic in this month, because I hope that they don't think no more money takes to push your soldier. And you, Mac Johnson, I ain't forgot about you. I'm going to support you. You work for your campaign.
Thank you, sir.
So you would rehire Richard, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what would you give him, A to F? What would you give him?
To give an A because they're going to do a good job, make more extra money, so, put pay raise for them. Work hard.
Now, Malcolm, what would you give him, A to F?
Well, I hadn't had the opportunity to look at the grading scale to see the work. I hadn't paid close attention to it. But what I did knew, I would give them an A for effort, if nothing else, because they was in a bad position. When somebody hold your money, Brent, they put you in a bad position. Hey, Tim Brown.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your support, brother, man. And we're not going to let you down. We're not going to embarrass you. And one thing we're going to do, Tim Brown, we're going to work hard to make sure that minorities like Mr. Socrates Garrett and others get opportunity to do work in Hinds County. It's not fair that he got to go to the Rudy Tusi in California to haul rocks when we got rocks right here in Hinds County that need hauling. So thank you, sir, for your support.
You are.
Thank you for listening to the show, and we're gonna come back after taking this commercial break. And please remember, if you'd like to call the show, 1-800-492-5186. We're going to be talking about the Capital District and some other topics when we return from this break.
Looking for the hottest content in the city of Jackson and surrounding areas? Check out WeBelieveDigital.com. Also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We Believe Digital Podcast is here for all your podcasting needs.
Do you have something to say? Do you want your voice heard? Join the We Believe Global lineup. Be the star of your own show. For more info, call 800-492-5186, option number 1, or visit online at webelieve.global. SGECovidsolutions.com is paving the way forward for a safer city government, delivering cutting-edge biosecurity and biosafety protocols developed internationally by top virologists and scientists using an all-natural cleaning solution, killing COVID-19 on contact like no other product on the international market. For more information, please call 1-800-281-9080 or visit us online at SGECovidsolutions.com. Let SGECovidsolutions.com provide innovative rapid facilities testing and world-class state-of-the-art biorisk safety protocols for all of your coronavirus needs. Call 1-800-281-9080 or visit us online at SGECovidsolutions.com.
Welcome back to the Brent Malcolm Show. We're joined by Malcolm Johnson. I'm Brent Hazard. We have guest Socrates Garrett. Malcolm, before we get back into our discussion, how's the campaign going, and what would you like the voters of Hinds County to know come August 8th?
Well, I want the voters of Hinds County to know, and the ones that's listening today by this program, is that if you drink coffee, there's some coffee out there. Mr. Sock, would you call that name to make it right?
Earth Blend Coffee.
What the voters need to do is first go and get them some Earth Blend coffee on August the 8th.
There you go.
Some good hot. Do you hear what I say, Brent?
I hear
hot
you.
coffee.
We only have an hour here, but I mean.
And listen, and get a good hot cup and put a little cream and sugar in it, and then go to the poll. Like Eddie Green said, wobble to the poll.
Wobble to the poll. It's your Earth Blend.
It's your Earth Blend. And when you circle it, that Malcolm Johnson down there for District 5 supervisor, and you drink the rest of it up, and then you can leave and go get anything you want to drink for the celebration.
You know, Phil Bryant, not Phil Bryant, but...
Oh, you said it right. You're positive, Phil Bryant. You said your Republican friends, Phil Bryant.
The governor that said he's going to put a chicken in every pot. Yeah. The one that drove the tractor up to Washington, D.C. We need to put a bag of coffee in every pot.
Well, no, what we need to understand is, and as much as I can't stand you, you do dream. And the difference between here and Silicon Valley or somewhere like New York is people support those ideas because they understand if you succeed, then I succeed.
That's right.
Wow. And we don't have that here in Mississippi, white, black, or green. Caller, welcome to the show.
How y'all doing today?
Miserable. Have you heard the show so far?
Oh, yes, I heard it. I just want to ask a quick question, though. I was watching the city council meeting, and they honor James Meredith by renaming the street for him. And I think that speech that he gave is why Jackson's in the predicament it is now.
What speech are you referring to?
Instead of blaming other people about what's going on in the black community, he said we got to look at ourselves and help ourselves before we worry about other people coming and saving us. That speech.
Did he give one recently, or was this years ago?
Yeah, that was today.
Oh, okay. I've not seen it today, sir. I'm sorry, but I can't. Well, let me ask you this, sir. We know James Meredith. What is your feelings of Mr. Meredith in 2023?
Well, it's like this. You can only do so much. It's time for people to do for themselves. You can't keep riding on the civil rights leaders from the 60s and all that, and turn around and just keep having shoes on at the Freedom Corner. If you look at Ada right now, Medgar Evers and Martin Luther King is one of the I didn't say bad areas. It's one of the bad areas in cities. And it's like this across the country. So how can we take the civil rights leaders from back in the day and honor them, but yet in most cities across the country, that's one of the baddest areas in the city.
Wow.
It's not other people coming in and doing it to us. We're doing it to ourselves.
Well, actually,
you can't keep blaming systematic racism when people want to think about violence to resolve the issues with each other.
Well, the situation with James Meredith, he's a complicated person to me because you have him leading the civil rights movement of going to Ole Miss. And at 18, 19 years old, whatever he was, that just could not be an easy situation. It took tremendous courage. But then I think he lost favor in the African American community, and he lost a little favor with me when he backed David Duke. So, Sock, you did a great interview with him, or a great show with him, which it can be found on your We Believe page. What's your thoughts of civil rights icon James Meredith?
Well, I think that James Meredith is an icon. I think, as you mentioned, it took a lot of courage to integrate Ole Miss, that his life was on the line every day. He was isolated in the dorm by himself. He was isolated in the classrooms. His family was under tremendous pressure. No Meredith was able to get a job in the state of Mississippi. And so James Meredith is a true icon. Now, as far as your statement that he backed David Dukes and he backed the Republican candidate.
It's not my statement. It happened.
You made the statement.
But it happened, right? You disputing that?
No, I'm not disputing that. We have a lot of our leaders that have backed Republican candidates at one point or time or another. And I think it comes from frustration with the current leadership or with the leadership of that time, and you start looking for other ways. Now, to support David Dukes, because he was such a controversial character.
He was a Klansman.
He was a Klansman. To support David Dukes is a stretch.
There's one thing to support Haley Barbour or even Phil Bryant or Tate Reeves, and when I make that distinction, Haley Barbour to me was Ric Flair. You might hate Ric Flair, but you got to respect the player.
Yeah.
He moved. He changed some things on the national level. He changed things in Mississippi. I think Tate and Phil are just kind of following Haley. But all three of those gentlemen, whether you hate them, like them, whatever, they haven't openly came out and supported the Klan.
No.
And so I think that distinction needs to be made. Malcolm, your opinion on James Meredith as we sit here in 2023?
I think James Meredith is a wonderful man, a great person. I believe God had blessed him. He got shot. Your people shot him coming down 55 when it's up.
Coming down 55.
They shot him walking down the
Why has it got to be my people?
Well, back in them times, all the state troopers were white.
Well, I mean, once again, it wasn't like they coming from my house. Go ahead, caller. We'll give you the final word. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, I got one more thing. You talk about him, showing support for David Duke. If I'm not mistaken, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton always gave praises to the Bird dude who was the non-classman too. So what's the difference?
Now, I don't know. The Burns?
Bird, that was his name. That some dude, some congressman, senator from North Carolina or something. That was Hillary. That was his.
Oh, you're talking about the
U.S. non-classman too.
You're talking about the U.S. senator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thurman Storm.
Strom Thurmond and I know that was
Thorne.
Yeah, Strom Thurmond. Yeah. I mean.
Look.
What's the difference between a Republican and a Klansman or a Democrat Klansman? They're all Klansmen.
Well, the difference I do believe there is Thurmond, to my knowledge, had quit endorsing him publicly when James Meredith backed Dukes. Dukes was publicly endorsing. I mean, when you're going back to the 50s and you're going back to the 80s, to me, there's a difference there. If someone's renounced it, my understanding is Strom Thurmond renounced it and apologized for his actions. I could be wrong because I've not researched Strom Thurmond. I wasn't a huge fan myself.
Trent Lott lost his job because of Storm.
No, Trent Lott lost his job because he didn't have one black. Okay, this is interesting. Here, let's go to the ancient one. What was your opinion on Strom Thurmond?
He was a racist and a classman.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have no other opinion of it.
Okay, hang on. Trent Lott, what was your opinion?
Trent was a power broker that was seeking to influence and rise up to the presidential level.
For those who do not know, he was the majority leader of the Senate as a junior senator, which is unheard of.
Yeah, he was endearing himself to what he thought was the power structure inside of the Republican Party, and it backfired on him. And a few other things happened, and so he had to resign.
If I say one of the reasons, for those who do not remember, Trent said to Strom Thurmond, in my opinion, Strom hung on way too long, and they were wheeling him in. He didn't know where he was. But when he was having like an 85th birthday party, Trent Lott said, if you were elected president, which was around when he ran in the 60s, and he was a big supporter of segregation at the time, the country would be a better place. It caught on like wildfire. Yeah. Trent Lott said it was just an offhand comment where he was trying to make an old man feel good. My opinion was this. Trent Lott, to me, cared about Pascagoula, where he was from, where his brother-in-law, Dickie Scruggs, was from, cared about Northeast Jackson, and cared about Oxford. He didn't give a damn about anybody else in this state because he had houses in all three spots, and he knew people in all three spots. The issue with Trent,
he just sold his house in Pocahontas.
Yeah, that's what
back in December.
Correct.
$4 million.
But the issue to me is
a $4 million home in Pocahontas.
Yeah, on Green House. Nice.
There was a prosecution.
And guess what? It was a slave. It's on. You can go online and look at it. It was a slave. I've been in there, but it was a slave plantation home. It was built by slaves right here in Pocahontas.
But my whole point is, if Trent Lott had a history of bringing equality to Mississippi, some African American leaders were stepped up and said, okay, he made a bad statement or he made an offhand statement, but he's done this, and this. It's a fact. He was in office for 30 years and he didn't have, like, if someone criticized me, I expect you two to come running.
The hell you say?
Running to do what?
The hell you say?
Okay. Y'all see how they do. Y'all see how they do. Y'all see how they do.
Hey, son, he's supposed to be drinking this coffee, not smoking it.
Let me say this. They treat me like they treat other black people in Hinds County.
Drink this coffee, man. Don't smoke it, man.
But no, the whole point is you have to pay attention. And what we have not talked about, Haley Barber and Trent Lott hate each other. They hated each other. You had the Delta versus the Coast. And Haley Barber was the chief of staff for George W., called W. Jr., and was he chief of staff? He was chief of staff, right?
No, I don't recall him having that position.
Oh,
he was a powerful lobbyist.
No, he was something. Hang on, I'm going to.
Let me tell you this.
Chairman of the Republican Party for a while.
No. He was something on Haley. He was something on W's. Go ahead.
In 1989, the first TV commercial I was on was in the Shelby County Fair, and it was Trent Lott. Trent Lott came up, good guy.
He was smooth now. He's smooth. He know how to talk to you about your mama, shake your hand.
But listen, he came to the Shelby County Fair. It was a black guy at the time, Mr. Cleveland Brox. He's dead and gone now. Mr. Brox was there. Mr. Brox knew him. Mm-hmm. He come over where the horse guy was, and he wanted all the blacks to get in his commercial for TV. And so everybody got around and stood in their chairs, and they put the horses in, to make it look like it was. And he walked over there. He was shaking hands, and he got up to Mr. Brock. Mr. Brock dead now. He said, "How you doing, sir?" He said, "I'm doing good, sir." He said, "I'm Trent Lott. I need your vote." He said, "You some kind of man." And so when they put this on a commercial, he said, "He's some kind of man." And the commercial showed him at the end saying, "He's some kind of man." And at the end of the commercial, everybody heard him say, when Trent Lott left, they say, "What did you say? You supporting that Republican?" He said, "I said, he's some kind of man." I didn't say what he was. I said, he's some kind of man. I won't never forget it, man. And that commercial, like, they was playing it so much, brother. Back in those days, when you went to the Shelby County Fair, you was a bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
You was tough.
Well, I mean, look, I've met Trent a couple of times, and he doesn't know me from it. He spoke at my high school graduation. When he's in the room...
You graduated of high school?
College graduation.
I thought it was a GED program, but I digress.
You thought some ignorant redneck came on your station and beat you on your own game? You just think I came off the street?
No, I didn't say you were ignorant.
I was programmed.
I didn't say you were ignorant.
I'm just saying this is basically born in a lab. I was programmed to take over the world. The good Lord sent me to Mississippi just to keep me down. It's hard.
It's your punishment.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's hard to build a rocket ship with stones and sticks. Let me tell you something. But or people screaming, "You got a no veto vote." But no, Trent, he can light up the room. He's got charisma. The problem with Trent is, and it's the same thing. It's the same. Okay, let me ask you this: on civil rights issues, 1 to 10, what do you give Trent Lott?
4.
Okay, what do you give him?
I give him a 5.
Okay, Thad Cochran, 1 to 10, what do you give him?
7.
And what's the difference in your opinion?
Well, Thad, was more open to African Americans. Quite frankly, he was indebted to African Americans because he lost the race to the Tea Party guy, Chris McDaniel. Yeah. And so black folk really endeared themselves to him, and he returned the favor. I think his name is on a couple of the buildings at the Jackson Medical Mall. And so
he got the medical mall. He was the one
who got the medical mall. But that all predated Chris McDaniel, though.
Well, what I'm just saying is this is why I gave him a 7.
Correct. Exactly. He could point. I did not forget about that segment.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Go ahead. What do you give Thad Cochran 1 to 10?
I give Thad Cochran. I knew Connie. I knew his brother, Connie's husband. I knew the whole Cochran family. I give him a 9.5.
And like
he could work the aisles.
Yeah.
He could get blacks money. He could bring it never would have been a medical mall. It was a vision by Dr. Aaron Shirley. Am I right?
That's right.
But it was made to suspicion by Senator Thad Cochran. If you go to Tougaloo, there's buildings, different college camp. I think every college campus on the state may have a Thad Cochran building on.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
And I'm gonna say this: it wasn't a vote for Thad Cochran. It was a vote against Chris McDaniel.
Well, let me go ahead and say this. I think Thad Cochran. I think
look at me. It wasn't a vote for Dad.
What you said.
It was a vote against
Okay,
Chris.
I'm coming back to you, but we got
You know our last sheriff race? It was not a vote for Tyreek. It was a vote against Marshawn. So whoever would have been in the runoff, it would have been a vote.
We have a caller.
Okay.
Caller? While Malcolm's over here performing for somebody, caller.
Hello?
You're on the air.
Oh, yeah, I like to say, y'all talk about everybody else. What about the sitting high? He said nothing that she liked better than a public lynching, front row seat. When she said public lynching, was she talking about lynching a white man, a Chinese man, a Vietnamese, an Indian, or a black man?
Well, let me say this. I'm not a big fan of Cindy Hyde-Smith. She did make that comment, which I do believe your offhand comment shows who you are and your feelings. I don't know how she got nominated, but this is all I need to tell you about Cindy Hyde-Smith, and this is a rumor. I can't confirm it. They said that the reason we don't have a U.S. attorney, and I don't know if you know how U.S. attorneys work, sir. Right now we have an active U.S. attorney who's basically from Clinton. Lamarca. He was a city court judge in Clinton, ran against Bill Skinner for county court. He's a nice guy, but he's a Republican.
Really?
Yes, he's a
and
Republican.
We got a Democrat president?
Well, he hasn't appointed anybody, and the reason I've been told that we don't have a U.S. attorney is there's a process. I'd never heard this process before called blue slipping. Like I'd give you, if you two were the senators, I'd give out you a name for U.S. Senate, and you could veto it. They said Cindy Hyde-Smith has been vetoing every U.S. attorney, Democratic U.S. attorney, to protect Phil Bryant from prosecution.
But you know what she said, didn't it? She said there's nothing that she liked better than going and sitting in the front row seat of a public lynching. See, throughout this country, you will see pictures of white people lynching black people, taking pictures and photos, showing it all around the world. That's before you had NBA. That's before you had NFL. That's before you had baseball. That was the entertainment of the year. Lynching black people. That was the entertainment throughout this country. And Mississippi is still a slave state. As long as you got a white Republican running Mississippi, you still have master-slave relationship.
Hey, caller. Caller.
Yes, sir.
You sound like you're a real smart guy. Never met you, never saw you. But let me ask you a question. You don't have to go to Cindy Hyde-Smith to see lynching. You can turn to the Hines County Board of Supervisors meeting and see black-on-black lynching. Have you seen?
Calhoun is over with Calhoun. Calhoun, you stick a fucking. You stick a fucking Calhoun. The mother coons that with. They know they holding everybody back. And our governor, man, it's bad for our governor. You got $800 million from the president to fix this water sewer, and you talking about fix it? You build a whole new one. Congress said $800 million. You build a new water plant. What kind of game is they playing? You talking about fixing something, and you can build a whole new one, man.
Well, Carl, have you ever watched the Hines County Board of Supervisors meeting?
I'm back. I got you, Mac. I'm bagging you, Mac.
I'm saying, have you ever watched the board meeting? Have you ever watched the board meeting?
Yes, I've been in the board meeting.
Have you ever saw the lynching that take place down there?
They lynched me. Calhoun did.
Huh?
Calhoun did. Calhoun trying to take my property. I'm a survivor spouse. He gonna try to take my property. Him and Eddie Jean Carr and Eddie Fair and Charles Stokes. All them coons got to go.
Okay.
They can't.
Don't scare this white man. He kind of scared. He turning red, man. Don't scare him, man.
No, here's the situation. Caller, we think
you got the hell to take money, get some out of receipt for paying your tax.
Hey, caller, I got a question for you before you hang up. Caller, I got a question for you.
We ain't going to
nope. Hey, caller.
You
think Riddell Calhoun gonna get reelected?
Man, tell Calhoun to go home and play with their grandchildren.
What about Vern Gavin?
He don't get it.
What about Vern Gavin?
All of them. They lucky they don't get indicted.
We're gonna start right there.
Thank you for calling in, caller.
If Chad White get behind, they going to jail. If Chad White get behind, they going to jail.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you for calling and listening. Just a few clarifications there.
Brent got scared, John.
I did not get
scared to go to church.
No,
man.
here's my
Tell him
problem.
to go to church.
No, but here's my problem, Malcolm. And just we're all open for open criticism. If you want to criticize, you start calling other African Americans coons or Uncle. I know that. You didn't say that. I'm not saying that.
I don't want no commercial out there talking about Malcolm Johnson.
But what I'm saying is we have to look, attack someone's abilities or actions is fair. But when you, and this is what I have to live by when I go to court, when you start calling people names, because whether you agree with them or not, those people are serving the public good. Now, like I said, everybody gets reelected every 4 years, and if we can get everybody to go vote. But the point is, to me, the reason we're last is it's more entertaining to tell gossip or to insult each other instead of hit. And if you really want to hit somebody, go through their actions. Now, let me go ahead and say this. Cindy Hyde-Smith said, I like him so much, I'd go with him to a public hanging.
Well,
she didn't say the best entertainment ever.
Let me get something straight. I want to go on record, sir.
And I'm not a fan of Cindy Hyde-Smith.
Let me say this. I'm not a fan of Cindy Hyde-Smith, but her uncle in Bolton, Mississippi, Mr. Gaddis, is a supporter. You hear me? Some friends of mine, and he's a supporter of mine, have been nice to me and my family over the years, so I'm not going to go too deep with that. You know Mr. Gaddis down in Bolton, don't you, sir?
Gaddis Farm, yes.
Gaddis Farm. That's his uncle, brother. She do all her press conference from Bolton, Mississippi.
And my whole
what I want to do, I don't want to beat her down on this show with me sitting right here because I don't know who I'm going to need in this election cycle.
Well, the bottom line is this, and we're going to take a break, but the bottom line is this, though. I know I eviscerate people my whole career.
Hold on. The caller say, Brent, shut up. The man is calling it what it is. The black folks know exactly what the call is saying. Learn the vernacular.
Vernacular.
Yeah, vernacular.
Well, no, what I'm saying, okay, fine. If you want to learn the vernacular, that's why you don't have clean water. If you want to learn the vernacular, that's why JPS was almost taken over. If you want to learn, right now, we as a society, and look, this ain't black, this ain't white, this is everybody. We're all last.
Drink some coffee, y'all.
So we can either continue to be a comedy show, or we can change and say we're going to start making decisions based on economics and data. I mean, like I said, if y'all want to continue to be Howard Stern, and even Howard Stern had to change and give up the lesbians, and he doesn't do that show anymore. He doesn't bring in the lesbians and the small people and the circus freaks. Yeah. He now does interviews because at some point you have to have credibility. At some point you have to have, and like I said, if you want to hurt somebody, me calling you an idiot is not really named. One, it's not true, but two, it doesn't. Now, if I said this is where you failed here, this is where you failed here, and I had data to support that, that's 10 times more damage.
Hold on. The callers say you do not have clean water because there's no one qualified to do the real management in environmental situations.
And we do not have that situation because when people run, we haven't had a qualified candidate for city, in my opinion, because
hold on. What? City what?
In the city of Jackson, we do not have qualified individuals to sit there because we're more interested in.
Brian Brazil say he a doctor.
We're more interested.
And that's what he says. He said Dr. Grizel, ain't it?
We're more interested in people throwing hot quotes and someone come up there and say, let me tell you why his plan is failing. I'm not going to talk about him as a man because it's not my business to talk about him.
His plan is not no good.
His plan's not no good. We don't have a series of interesting candidates who are saying, here's my strategy here. Here's why I'm going with Hines County's business.
That's right.
Now, like I said, Socrates and I will disagree forever. I think Socrates has hurt himself. I understand why he backs minority contractors. I think in 2023, the way to do that and not alienate the white people is to say we need to hire people who live in Jackson. Your comment.
Well, I've never gotten any favorable contracts opportunities from white people. Now, contraction from white elected officials. African Americans get less than 1% of contracts for goods and services from the state of Mississippi. And we get less than 12% from the municipalities. And so black contractors and black businesses have suffered under leadership regardless of who it is. But I believe that my opportunities are better when there is a black government in place than it is with a white government. History shows me that.
Well, you've got to back that history.
Maynard Jackson did more for African American contractors and businesses than anybody else in the country. I don't know of any white mayor that has done that or would stand for and what he stood for when he said that a mandatory 25% of all contracts for goods and services are going to black people in Atlanta. He made that statement and he stood by it and it happened.
That's right.
So I don't think I can get that out of white leadership. And let me just say this on your statement of qualifications.
Okay.
African Americans are more than qualified. More than qualified. We got to remember that African American mayors.
Okay, when did I say they were not? Oh, you're talking about the city leadership.
You just made the statement that we hadn't had a qualified leader.
You think the current mayor's qualified?
Let me finish the statement.
Okay,
he's more than qualified.
Okay.
He's more than qualified. He is, I believe he's a member of the Mississippi Bar like you. I believe he graduated from law school.
And I'll be the first one to tell you the majority of lawyers are idiots that just went to school 3 extra years. Go ahead.
Well, how do you become qualified for anything then if you don't do it from education?
No, it's success, wins. And let me say, let me. Now I'm gonna let you finish, but here, okay. Let me give you an example, okay. I wouldn't care if it was us three, and I wouldn't care. Look, we've all had issues. Well, I've had issues with both of y'all at one point throughout history. We're at a good stage now, but we've all had issues. If you're governor, you're Speaker of the House, and I'm mayor of Jackson, and $900–600 million are coming in, I'm looking at you two and say, we've had our issues in the past, but we need this victory press conference. We need to all get up there and we put aside our differences and talk like adults so we all look good. The governor, the lieutenant governor, Philip Gunn, the city council, and the mayor could not all sit there and have that victory tour, which any other state gets $1 billion. They're all sitting up there saying, look what happens when we all come together.
That's right.
And when you don't have that for your own self-interest, for the mayor, the governor, or lieutenant governor, I like to see the governor lose. I like to see the lieutenant governor lose. I like to see Philip Gunn's gone to the House.
He got a fundraiser too. You going?
Who?
Philip Gunn.
No. I can't stand Philip Gunn.
Oh, who do you like, Brent? You don't like Sock? You don't like me? Wait. You don't like Sock? You don't like me?
You two on my show.
You don't like Mr. Bill. He in Washington, D.C.
Okay, let me ask you this. 3 top things that the governor's done. Name them.
It's going to take me some time to think about that because the negatives outweigh anything positive. The denial of Medicaid expansion in the state of Mississippi is just mind-boggling. It's beyond belief. So I can't get to any top thing that he's done. I mean, he accepted the flag coming down.
He signed off on it
after he finally had to sign off on that, but he didn't. He did that kicking and screaming, and so this governor has not had a successful term, in my opinion, and he doesn't have much to look back on. His claim that we have economic growth under his leadership and we got $1 billion surplus under his leadership.
COVID money.
That Benny came in.
So
Benny brought the money and they took it.
I can't say what he's done.
Okay, because we're running out of time, give me the 3 top things Delbert Hoseman's done.
Deborah Hoseman, what do you mean?
Give me the top 3 things. Just name them off. If I was telling you
Deborah Hoseman got the school teachers a pay raise, man.
Okay, 1.
Who did that, son?
I guess Deborah did.
Okay. And now he's trying to get them another pay raise. Okay. He's trying to get schools millions of dollars.
Okay, so that's 2.
And guess what else he did?
What?
Huh?
Go ahead.
Deborah Hoseman is a main factor that flag come down, brother. It wasn't none of your governor. It was Deborah Hoseman.
I don't remember Delbert. I don't remember his speeches.
Look, he was threatening to not sign another bill, and the Senate was going to shut down over there.
I don't remember the governor or Delbert Hoseman coming out publicly about water. I don't remember
water.
You had people without water in the city of Jackson, our capital city, and Delbert.
Brother, they brought the National Guard in here. Where were you?
You pull up one quote from all 3 of those, Philip, Delbert, or
let's get this straight right here. Okay, politics. We with the boss today. You ain't got to look at your watch.
Oh no, we're gonna keep it on time. They got another show.
Well, we with the boss though. The boss will tell them to wait.
I'm into this show on proper time. Y'all can sit here all you want.
Listen to me, brother.
Brent is in
government. It's called a proper process of government. The senators and the legislators' job is to allocate the money. Am I right, Sergeant?
We had this in
the
sixth grade.
Senate job is to manage the water and the sewage. County don't have nothing to do with water and sewage. So the supervisor like some damn food on TV talking about building water towers and water tanks when that's not their job.
At some point,
but what I'm trying to tell you, you saying the man ain't saying nothing about water. They put the money out there. It was up to the local leaders to put the money on the street.
Show me where your state leaders said we cannot let our fellow citizens not have drinkable water. Show me one quote from Speaker Gunn, Lieutenant Governor or Governor said, this is not a third world country. We're not going to let Mexico have drinkable water and not the city of Jackson. Just show me that, and you can say, I understand how civic government works.
Brent, I want you to show me something.
Okay.
Show me a city council meeting.
Okay.
You there?
I'm here.
That was held. And all of them raised their hand to say, call Socrates Garrett out here with his trucks because these damn people need toilet water. They was fighting over that. Am I right, Mr. Garrett?
That's correct.
Huh?
That's correct.
Mr. Garrett, Garrett took trucks out there. Hold on. You got to listen.
So your defense to those three gentlemen is what the other city council
you talking about what they ain't doing, but the local people. This man had trucks out there putting water in them, taking people toilet water.
I just said.
And they were arguing about who gonna get the damn contract.
Exactly. I just said, and I've been highly critical on every platform that while we arguing over garbage, we don't have drinkable water.
Now we're talking about what the lieutenant government ain't doing about water, and I'm telling you, the people they're supposed to be making sure the water get to the house.
And what I'm saying
was acting a fool. This man had trucks out there he had tankers. Am I right, son?
That's right.
And he was putting water. They had putting water in buckets.
You enjoying this ass kissing?
I'm telling you,
you just enjoying it. You just sitting over there like kiss my ass.
I'm on your show, Brent. I'm on your show, Brent. I'm on your show.
This is the problem, Brent. The white people that you upset with, you come here and raise hell about them, and the white people you love, you don't call their name.
Oh, that's a shot over your bow.
You're telling me we got to end on that. Whoa, I guarantee I give the business to everybody equally, but we're going to end on that. But wait a minute. Before we end,
2 more minutes.
Since you're talking about the criticism of the government,
I don't think the lieutenant government's cool.
I hope Chris McDaniel wins. We're going to talk about that next week.
We're going to talk about happy birthday.
Hang on, we're running out of time, but I'm going to hold you accountable. You're elected. If you're elected on August 8th, give us a plan. We're going to record it. We're going to clip it, and we're going to hold you accountable if you don't do it. If you're elected August 8th, what is your plan?
Malcolm Johnson had the Revive District 5 plan. And the plan, first of all, starts with cleaning up Hinds County. We has already talked with our justice court judges. When we get on the board, we're going to meet, have put on the agenda to get it approved that justice court judges will be able to allow people that can't pay their fines to do community service, and that community service will be on Saturdays from 8 to 12 to go out in the county, pick trash up, clean up, leave it on side the road, and Public Works pick it up in the morning. And guess what, Brent?
What?
It's legal. Guess what? Community service is legal. It's not being performed in Hinds County. You see it in Byron. You don't see it in Hinds County. So if you get a DUI in Utica, and the judge and Frank Sutton said $2,700, you got it? You got the money? You say no. So I said, what? Saturday morning, we'll see you. We're picking up trash. So we have a plan to clean up Hinds County. We're going to revive District 5, but we're going to also revive Hinds County. I'm going to give you that one today, and we're going to rest. But let me say happy birthday to my friend. He's a councilman over in Hazelhurst, Mississippi, Ward 2. Councilman Jeremy Longino, he's listening from all the way from Hazelhurst, Mississippi, and his birthday is on the 24th, but he want me to tell Brent Hazard that you're the coolest white boy you know.
We're going to end on that because that man's the smartest man's been on this show today. Thank you, Socrates, for appearing. Malcolm, we'll see you next week. We might need to continue this next week if you ain't scared.
I'm not scared, Brent.
We'll continue this next week. You guys stay safe and have a good day. Thank you for tuning in.